This is Aaron East with MMA UK, and I'm joined today by Hammer's Danny Missin. Danny returns to action on April 6th at Shocker North 36 in Portsmouth. Thank you for taking the time out of your evening to speak with me today, Danny, mate. As I can see, you've been training well.
Yeah. I've been training. I think the is at the beginning of a fight camp. And you get pissed off with everything you do. And you're just like, why am I doing dumb shit?
Yeah, man. And congratulations on your recent fight announcement, my friend. You must be really hyped for this one.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a bit to kind of get me going for the fight now. You know what I mean? I think this will be my 40th overall MMA fight.
Yeah.
So I've been there. I've done it. I've had my ass kicked. I've kicked ass, and it takes a bit to kind of, what's the word? You get desensitized to it a little bit sometimes. And I have a love-hate relationship with MMA. I love the sport. I love my people within the sport, and people who are cool with me, I'm cool with them. But I've been shit on a number of times from great heights by the industry itself. So I guess you're going to get that with anything, whatever job you do. But like I say, it takes a bit to kind of get me going. And getting off of Ashley, he's the kind of guy I want. His record doesn't say he's very experienced, but quite the contrary. He's trained out some decent gyms. He's tall for the weight, which is a challenge in itself because I'm a bit of an half pint. It's exciting, and I think the beauty of it is, especially this might be my old age talking now. I'm not one of those young fighters that kind of wants to talk shit and go down that route. Me and Ashley, we were matched up before, and I screwed my knee up, mate. I did. It's better now, but I did screw my knee up, and he was so understanding. I actually went to the show that he was fighting on, and we had a chat. And although he came up short that night, he displayed a lot of good things, and a lot of that can be put down to the years out that he had, as he shared with me, because he'd done his knee in as well. So we were kind of like, cool, we're going to have to make this happen. And when his name got thrown to me by Brian, I was like, two birds, one stone. I've always wanted to fight on Shocknar. It's kind of been on the bucket list. So, let's do it. I'm happy for it.
Yeah, it's a great promotion. Definitely one of the UK standout shows. I'm surprised to not have seen you on there before. As you say, you've had 40 absolutely amazing fights. You know what I mean? It's always great to make a debut, especially now in this stage of your career, no doubt.
Oh man, it's so when I first started, it was a gym called Cage Steel, which you'll all know, the clothing line. But Neil Hall, Jay Furnace, Phil Oben, for those older guys. He was an absolute killer. We had I've forgotten his name, so I'm not even going to try. But we had like Josh Harrop and loads of people out there, and the shows at the time that were big. And this is a big thing for Shock and Awe. So the shows that were kind of talked about as being, the shows you wanted to be seen on, was stuff like I think it were 10th Legion. There was Total Combat, Shock and Awe. You know what I mean? Like these were the shows like 15, 16 years ago. So, Shock and Awe have done something right because, I think Total Combat kind of chuck one together every so often, but it's not the same. The game's evolved, and respect to them for still putting it together. But Shock and Awe are the only one out of those three mentioned that are still kicking out big cards, good cards, and essentially being, not for me, for other reasons, but being a feeder show to your likes of Cage Warriors and stuff like that. You see a lot of people come up through Shock and Awe and then onto there. I'm never going to get on Cage Warriors, mate, but that's a story for a different day.
Well, Well, you seem to have your mind set on that, but in my experience, mate, never say never.
Oh no, mate, no. I can say never. I think a lot of some things happened in past, and I
Yeah,
love the show, I love the production and stuff. But I think I was essentially blacklisted about 10 years ago,
yeah,
um, due to dealing with something that I shouldn't have had to deal with. But here we are. I'm still fighting. I'm happy. I love the guys down there. I've actually, me and Ian are quite good with each other and stuff like that. So let it be. I don't want to get fucking hell. Could you imagine me on Cage Warriors now? I'd fight, but fucking hell, they've got some killers on me.
yeah, man, definitely. And as previously said, it's been a while since we've seen you out there. For those that might not know too much about you at Shock and Awe, would you care to enlighten us on some of the reasons why you've been inactive?
Yeah. So I had a wicked 2021. No, was it
Yeah,
2022? It was one of them. What year are we in? We're in 24, yeah.
yeah, I think so.
So
I hope so.
I had a good 2022. But I was carrying a bit of weight with me, mentally going into 2022, and then I just kind of like, fuck it. I've got to at some point in my career give the people, the side of me that they expected to see from the beginning. And I went on a bit of a tear up, and I just kind of had that never say no kind of attitude.
Yeah,
I fought twice in 7 days, took a title, took a number one contendership, then went on to FCC, got
yeah,
fight of the night, fighter of the year, fought 8 minutes with 4 shattered ribs over me heart and my lung, and
yeah, yeah,
wrapped it up nicely, and had me 6 weeks to recover me ribs, and all credit to Adam, he tried to get me matched up,
yeah,
but a fight fell through twice with James Williams on FCC.
mm,
And you never know. I'm not going to point fingers. Like I say, me and James have spoke about it. I'm not going to say, oh, his team did this or whatever. I'm a
yeah,
bit of a one-man army. I don't really have a coach. I coach myself
mm,
now, and I coach my team.
mm,
But obviously, James is in a position where he's got a management, he's got a team around him. Everyone's got an input. The weights kept on getting moved. I got to a point where I was like, just tell him to make whatever weight he wants to make, because this was my title shot. I finally
mm,
got there, you know what I mean? I got to that point where I was the guy, and it went from 57 to 58 to 59 to 60 to 61. And I was just like, you know what? Tell him to weigh in at whatever he wants to weigh in. I'll weigh in at championship weight and I'll take the belt.
yeah,
Anyway, it fell through. And then APFC got in touch with me. And I'd already trained a total of about 6 months non-stop for James Williams at this point.
mm,
They offered me James Williams, and of course I said yeah. You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't I? That's the
yeah,
fight that I've trained for. That's the person that I want. Not in a nasty way, but I didn't. I was thinking like a young man. And again, through APFC, APFC had he's under Showtime management in it.
mm,
So the goalposts were always going to be moved to be in his favour. Some of it's just hearsay that I don't have proof on, but the things that I do have proof on is, again, we start cycling through the weights. So it starts at, you get this much in Great British pounds
mm,
to fight at 57 kilo.
yeah,
And then, it's going to be at 58. Oh, he wants it at 59 because he can't make 57. And the excuse that I was given was, the excuse now. He's wanting to fight later on in the year, so he don't really want to cut weight for you.
yeah,
And I was like, wow, like that hurt. You know what I mean? Because I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, look at my losses, but look at who I've beaten as well. And then, no disrespect to him because he's still early in his career and he's doing what people do early in his career.
mm,
But look at the combined wins versus the combined losses of his opponents. Then look at the combined wins versus the combined losses of my opponents.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, definitely.
I'm the gatekeeper here. You need to get past me.
Exactly.
So for him to turn around and say, not him directly, but, the people surrounding him to say, oh, you don't really want to cut weight for you. I'm already fighting on his show. I'm already having the goalposts moved. And I started to overtrain. I did. I'd done about 6-7 months at this point, of non-stop training, and I was the fittest I'd ever been. But mentally, I was shot. I didn't have an ounce of fight in here. Anyway, my knee started to go. It was getting worse and worse and worse. I was just like, I can't do this. And if the goalpost had been 57 kilo and stuff like that, I'd have probably still chucked myself in there. But I think the reality was everything had been moved, and the deck was stacked against me so much. And I had to have that conversation with myself, like, I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this for the love of the sport, and I'm doing this for the middle finger to everybody who's told me I'm shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like an onion. There's layers to it. You know what I mean? And I've proven I'm not shit countless many times, but then I've gone on streaks of like 6 losses. So, you know, it's like, it's a bit of an odd one with me. But on any given day, if you don't mind your P's and Q's with me, I'm going to take your neck. I'm going to take your neck. I'm going to take some up. So you got to be ready for someone like me. And the goalposts were moved so many times. The cards were stacked against me so many times. And I just thought to myself, I'm killing myself here. And I'm going to have to fucking knock him out to get a draw.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like, right, I can't do this. So I kind of sat on the sidelines, had a bit of rest. But my head was still like, I'd trained for a fight so much.
Yeah.
But I didn't have that. Mate, it's like pleasuring yourself and not finishing, you know. You're blue balling yourself. You train that much, you've got to have the finish. You've got to have the finish at the end. And I was like, no, I've got to fight. So I got offered an opponent on BMF. And on 7 days' notice, he let the team know that he was from India, and he was this undefeated kid from India.
Yeah.
And he let him know, I didn't sort my visa. So that's off to him. In steps Kiru. Now, me and Kiru had a very back and forth fight on cage steel.
Yeah.
Ending in a cut. Going to Kiru. Can't take all away from him. I was proud as hell as him, because that night I was switched on. I was making him miss, and, you know, I was hitting him with things. I'd beaten up that calf. And I thought, right, yeah, there's about 25 different places difference between us, but, you know, if I'm Danny Missin, I'm going to do it, right? So on 7 days' notice, I took a fight against Kiru. And although I was physically fit, 7 days is not enough to prepare for someone like Kiru. But, you know, at the same time, 7 days might not have been enough for him to prepare for someone like me. And we went out. I lost the fight. I pulled the trigger. There's a scene at the end where, you know, he's doing the ground and pound on me, he's above me, and he's got really long arms. And the referee's obviously looking at the part that's important, which is his hands.
Yeah.
And I got my feet to his hips, and just as the ref waved it off, I kicked him off. But that's my fault. You know, I hold that. You know, I hold my hands up. That's my fault. I should have done it sooner. And he won fair and square. And then I think after that, it was just like, I just need a rest. I need a mental rest, man.
Yeah.
You know, people think that it's physically hard, and it is. But you don't get in this sport thinking it's going to be easy. But the mental side of it, it'll drain you. Like, there were days where I just didn't want to get out of bed. So I was just overtrained, and I wasn't depressed. Like, it wasn't like something happened in my life, and I was like, I just like, nah, fuck it, I'm just going to stay here today. You know what I mean? Like, and I needed to get out of that funk, and obviously I was having issues with my knee. But we've got to the bottom of that. I've been working with a decent team and stuff like that. I know what's got to be done eventually. But, you know, I found ways to be able to utilise my leg and use it as if nothing's up with it. So it's like, right, well, now's the time, innit? We've got to get in there. We've got to do something.
Yeah, man, 100%. And while it may have been a bit of time with you out, but you've certainly been busy for the grand opening of HAMMA West Yorkshire at the tail end of last year. Congratulations on that, man. I've been watching your journey to opening that. That's absolutely incredible, man. Hard work, definitely.
Man, like, if anybody's ever been to my town, and they probably am, but, you know, why would they? We needed something like this. We had a good boxing coach called Keith Tate, and he passed away a good few years ago. And he was like the guy where, you know, all the kids would go to. You know, he he fostered kids. He worked with kids that were in need and stuff like that through the art of boxing. And me and Neil, before he passed away, were actually talking about, doing this. And I know it's kind of ironic that Neil were Allegiance and we're called HAMMA, but I think that name stays with him. Like that's his thing. And when he passed, I was just like, I've still got to do it. I've still got to do it. And Sean Martin, he helped me out, and I was like, right, cool, let's do it. And I tell you what, it's been harder than any fight, mate. Just trying to open this place, but it's been so much. It's so worth it, when you see like so many different walks of life coming in, and I start getting into working with kids that vulnerable children, and just giving them something, and you just see the difference that it makes, and it's like, this is what call my fight career college and university, you know what I mean? Because this is the job that I've got now.
Yeah, especially that's highly admirable in this day and age. It's not how it used to be when we were younger. You know what I mean? And to have role models like you, like growing up and teaching them the ways, that is highly commendable, man. And I guarantee, even he's looking down on you with great pride for this, my friend.
Yeah, I hope so. You're gonna make me cry.
No, sorry.
Nah, it's cool, man. They're only happy tears now.
Right, and I bet it's made a huge impact on your preparations, and no doubt we'll see a completely different version of yourself. I mean, running around with like the youngsters of mixed martial arts, teaching them the ways, it must keep you like feeling young, eh?
Oh man, it's painful. It's painful. It's exhausting, and it pushes you to new limits. Like, because all these kids are coming up now, and I see it myself. It's like kids, these youngsters and young adults in this gym that haven't even had a fight yet. And I watched my debut back the other day.
Yeah.
And they are so much better than me. Like, I was just like, but it's the evolution of the sport. It's more accessible.
Yeah.
It's before, like, I grew up watching boxing on TV because MMA wasn't that big. So it's like people come in and they're like, they know how to box because they've seen it. They don't know how to box, but do you know what I mean? They know how to put their hands up and throw a jab cross.
Yeah.
But now these kids are coming in like they've watched every UFC since UFC 1 to UFC like 299 or whatever we're at now, when they're showing me stuff like, and the way that they're moving, they just pick things up so easy because it's so much more accessible for them now.
Yeah.
But it does make sparring rounds very, very tiring because they don't stop moving. And I'm like, I'm old, I need my rest. Like, let me just take you down and rest on you. But I mean, only seeing a different side of me from, like, you're going to get the same grit, you're going to get the same personal walk through hell to kind of, get his hand raised. I've had fights where I've been more beat up than my opponent and got my hand raised. You know what I mean? It's like, I ain't ever going to quit on myself. But I've only got a few fights left to kind of show sides of me that I've never been able to show in the cage. Things that I know I'm good at that I've never really kind of used. So I'm trying to find a way to kind of utilize that within my fight prep, and hopefully bring it out a bit more in the cage and show people I'm not just a one-trick pony. Like, I can do other stuff too.
Yeah, man, I've been a follower of yours for quite a while now, and I'm definitely looking forward to witnessing your improvements out there, man. And undoubtedly, we're probably going to see them training them youngsters, no doubt about it.
Yeah, man. Like, I hope so.
Definitely, I can almost guarantee it, mate. Right, looking ahead to April, you previously mentioned versus you take on Ashley Kilvington of Mad Hatter, who you previously set to meet back in November at Almighty Fighting Championship 33.
Yeah.
And I bet you're highly elated to run this one back, as you previously mentioned.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain parts about the sport that kind of turn my stomach now. And, I like having a laugh and a joke. I think you only have to look at my Instagram to figure that out. I don't try and take myself too seriously. But at the same time, among all the trash talk, you never actually see me pinpoint anything on my opponent and abuse them for it at all like that. I try to keep it as as friendly as possible. I had a chat with Ashley. I apologised for having to pull out. I explained why. The guy was the most sympathetic guy ever because he'd been through it himself. And I think we said something along the lines of, you know, if it happens, you know, if we get the opportunity, let's do it. And we shook hands, and that was that. And I'm just like, you know what, right? He prepared for me last time, and he ended up with a different fighter, and I know how that feels. And I've got to give him that back now, you know what I mean? I've got to give him that fight. There's like no hatred there or all like that. The guy's a true gent. But we've got a job to do and try and break each other's faces, you know, and it's what we're going to do, I guess, because he's game, I'm game, and it'll be all love afterwards. I'm sure if he drinks, we'll have a pint or something like that. But yeah, I'm really excited for it because he poses a lot of challenges for me. And I've never done well against long people. Like, he is very, very long. So it's like, right, this is the one. We've got to get this now.
Yeah, we're all just going to be in attendance. I highly recommend to keep a close eye on your match, man. I mean, as you mentioned before, so in the FCC, I messaged you after. I said, congratulations when you busted your rib. And you was like, congratulations, seems a bit unworthy of me right now because I can barely breathe and I'm knackered. But you don't stop, mate. You honestly don't stop. You're an absolute machine out there.
No, well, that's it. You know, I'm from that era of fighters. And what I mean by that is, like, we're saturated in this sport with athletes now. And I think from a coach's perspective, the biggest thing that I've got to teach my guys right now is not how to do techniques. You show them once and they'll do it 50 times for you. But it's more to try and get this to want to fight. Because we've all seen it. We've even seen it at the highest of levels. You know, you get an athlete, Sage Northcutt, absolute athlete. But when he gets hit, his head fell off. You know, it's like you get these athletes, and it's great being an athlete, being able to do the craziest things, 720, you know, whatever. But the minute someone stands there and goes, right, I'm not just going to be hit by you, I'm going to punch you back, that's when you see whether someone's a fighter. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've got to show my guys right now, whereas I'm all fight and little technique. You know, I've got the techniques because I've had the mat time, you know, I've had to really grind because I'm never a natural. So I got the technique the hard way, but these kids coming in with the techniques already made, but they've just not got that fight. So you can never doubt, you know, you never have to doubt that with me. It's like, I'm going to fight for as long as I can fight, and you've got to finish me to get me out of there. So it's like, you know, I like to think that's an exciting type of fight. I love those people who kill or be killed, you know, and that's who I am. Yeah,
I couldn't agree with you more, man. And with that in mind, and definitely not to look past your April bout, but can we expect to see more of you throughout 2024?
100%. I joke with one of my old boxing coaches, Graham Thomas, from time to time. And I just say, every time I get out of cage, he gives me a hug. And I just go, until the wheels fall off, mate. You know, that's it. You know, it's in my head, I'm still 16. I've got one or two aches in my body that, you know, they're not getting progressively worse, like, you know, really quickly. But it's just wear and tear, mate. And I think you start to find certain things in my body that have been happening, and it's like I found ways to train around it and still get the same quality training. You know, I've really done my research and, like, you know, figured out how to not let it stop me. So I kind of feel like I'm going into this year now renewed, a little heavier than I wanted to be, but you know, I didn't envision fighting anytime soon. But weight won't be an issue. I just got to put down the cream cakes. But yeah, man, like I'll keep going until I can't go no more. But I'm very overly critical of myself, and I'll know when that time is. But it's not right now. It's not right now at all.
Yeah, well, for one, I'm definitely glad to hear that, man. I'll definitely be keeping an eye out for your 2024.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're going to try and do the double. We're trying to go fighter it yet again. But if Adam Tay can pick up his little black book and find me a flyweight. And then, I might come back and just take fight of the year again on FCC. Who knows? But my eyes are on Shock and Awe right now, and I'm just happy to finally be there. It's been 16 years I've been in this sport now. And I've always watched it from afar. I've seen guys come up. Jim Owen have always had monsters. I mean, Phil Harris were a big inspiration for me, being a flyweight before flyweights existed.
Yeah.
And he was Jim Owen. And it's like, then, these guys fought on Shock and Awe, and you actually look back, like people like Mike, one of my training partners / ex-coaches, Jason Furness. You see him down there. You see all these guys down here. These guys that people talk about and hold in high regard today went through Shock and Awe. So just the fact that it's still going and that I get to be a part of it 16 years later is like that. It's a beautiful thing for me.
Yeah, definitely, man. And with your fight record, I bet Shock and Awe, definitely looking forward to having a UK celebrity like you there on the regional scene.
Don't say celebrity. I'm an annoyance. I'm an itch that won't go away. Every time these flyweights think I've got an easy run to the top, they come back. They come to me and they decide to have a good day. Right, I'm the boogeyman of the UK flyweights. It's like, which one you're gonna get? Roll the dice and decide which daddy you're getting. Because it can be any time, it can be any kind of night. But regardless of which side of me turns up, I'm coming for the fight, and I'm coming to entertain. And whether it's my first kicked in or his first kicked in, the crowd are gonna be enjoying it.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you today, Danny, mate. I wish you all the best for your continued preparations, and I'll definitely look forward to catching you out there once again, my friend.
Yeah, no worries, mate. No, I appreciate that. And thanks for, I know it's an awkward time, but thank you.
Anytime, my friend, anytime. But last but not least, do you have a message for the fans that will be in attendance and anybody you'd like to give a shout out to? Just please be nice to me. Buy me a drink afterwards, fans, because I'm going to be, I'll be a away fighter, you know what I mean? And there's going to be me on my corner there, and we just want to come down. We want to see what the city's like. We want to have some fun and stuff, and boo, cheer, whatever it is, just give your energy. Because I guarantee me and Ashley are going to give that energy back. Shout out wise, I just want to say big thank you to my team. The people who invest in me and, trust me with their careers, and the people who give it back, in blood, sweat and tears when they're helping me prepare. And I've just got on board with a secret MC called MC Pigeon. He's going to be doing my walkout music. So have a listen if you like Bradford Chava music. But it's going to be interesting. There might be a few pigeon masks, who knows. But yeah, apart from that, just everybody who's kind of, giving me a bit of time and stuff like that. Life's busy. I don't get back to you all and stuff. But I do appreciate it. I love you loads. And, in April, if you're down there, just give your energy, because you got two guys in there that we're going to go through hell to get what we want. And we hope you enjoy it. That's a great message, man. You have a pleasant evening. Hopefully you get home and be able to get some rest. You train hard and train well, mate. I'll speak to you soon.
You take care. See you soon.
Too.
Bye.
Bye.